Welcome, and you are listening to ZhaoBook podcast. In this podcast, we will be displayed in English language. Hello everyone, it's Shanya again, back with ZhaoBook podcast. Today we're back with a self-help book called Managing Oneself, written by Mr. Peter Drucker. This book will help your self-development by using the logics of organization management or characteristic of the manager. The book was divided into two main sections, an introduction and a context. Let's start with the first part, an introduction. It tells the origin of this book. Allow me to summarize it for you. Mr. Drucker has rejected economists and turned to an offer when the economy in UK was in big crisis, which it had reached at the lowest point. His first book, The End of Economic Man, had received a good critic from one of the famous historical figures from World War II, Mr. Winston Churchill. That critic is the most important point for Mr. Drucker to find his true calling, an author. Then he wrote more than 34 books, which have been translated into more than 70 languages. One of those books is Managing Oneself. This book urges us to think and ask yourself a question about important parts of our life with a powerful, creative, and systematic mindset. Mr. Drucker didn't tell us an answer, but he summarized those questions for us to answer one by one or step by step, which helps us to understand one of the most important human arts, which is self-management. Let's start with the easiest question, or not, which is, what are my strengths? Most people who heard this will confidently answer that I'm good at something, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, which is just a misunderstanding. But still, some people will say that I'm not good at it. I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, which is also a misunderstanding too, because people sees you something that you don't like and the result is good. This question may look easy, but it's hard to answer if someone isn't good at anything or someone is versatile or good at many things. For the second case, you can consider those skills as your strength. I mean, not everyone is good specifically at something, right? Only some people. Alright, next up. Ooh, this one would take time to think as long as the first one, or maybe longer than that, which is, how do I perform? It's very surprising that few people know that. How do you work or perform successfully? The truth is, we mostly don't know that we have a different methods of performance. Just like our strengths, our performance is like our personality. Each has his or her own individual personality. These can be appear as our own nature. Some are appear by training or behavior incubation, and some are influenced by various medias, which makes us become who we are. Just like our performance, some are considered by nature, some are considered by through training and discipline, and some are considered by environmental influence. How do we perform or work is what we have in us. Just like a professionalism, the methods may slightly change, but not all of them change. It can be changed, but it's hard. We people finish our work successfully because we have done something that we love, and we would like to work in a way which we feel suitable or the most comfortable. Those are just some of the questions Mr. Drucker asked us. There's actually more in the book, waiting for you to answer. If you can answer all of them, congratulations, you have already known yourself well enough. It's time to use all of those answers to manage yourself. To be honest, I tried to find the best, the most complicated ones to tell you, or to ask you, really. But if you want to answer, go ahead and tell me, but not all of them, okay? Some things you just have to keep yourself sometimes. Managing Oneself is another good self-help book for us to read. Unlike any other books, this book didn't tell you the answer and let you adapt it, but instead, it gives you a question and you have to find an answer and adapt it by yourself. Before I end this podcast, please let me read two of the best both book and author critics from two famous persons. Are you ready? Let's do it. Drucker was one of those writers to whom almost anything can be forgiven because he not only has a mind of his own, but has a gift of starting other minds along a stimulating line of thought. This is from Mr. Winston Churchill. Now here's another one. Drucker's quotes and thoughts were supposed to be taken for ponder by the responsible ones. From now on, tomorrow, 10 years ahead, 50 years, and 100 years ahead. This one is from Mr. Jim C. Collins, the author of From Good to Great. Okay, that's it. And that's all. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope this podcast will make a great benefit to you. Feel free to criticize, both good or bad, if you wish. And if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, ZhaoYunTH, Big Z, H, A, O, Big Y, U, N, Big T, and Big H. That's it. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.